Minnesota health officials are seeing more cases of chickenpox than they have in recent years. The Department of Health says nearly 400 cases were reported this year, as opposed to the typical 200 to 300. Valley News Team's Rose Itzkovitz joins us in studio with much more. Rose.
That's right, Christine. The last time these numbers were higher than normal like this was in 2013, when there were 478 cases. The Minnesota Department of Health tells me the number comes from both isolated incidents and outbreaks throughout the state, particularly near the Twin Cities. But as far as our area goes, I'm told only 2 cases within Clay County were confirmed this year. So I asked whether we might anticipate a rise in chickenpox numbers within the FM area.
That's really hard to say, but chickenpox doesn't tend to spread, let's say, like influenza, where you can almost watch it sort of sweep across the country. So it really just depends on sort of who has contact with whom and whether they bring chickenpox into their community.
And meanwhile, a nearby daycare worker tells me he hasn't seen a single chickenpox case in the last 10 years.
I belong to a group of directors here in Fargo-Moorhead, and a lot of times we'll get emails and those kind of things if something is going around, and I haven't heard anything from anyone. So
Sprecher adds that chickenpox is one of the things that he and staffers keep a close eye on for children. And even if they see scabs, they have precautionary measures in place. Reporting live in the studio, Rose Itzkovitz, Valley News Live. Back to you, Christine.
All right, thank you, Rose. And the Minnesota Department of Health says it's seeing a large number of chickenpox cases in charter and private schools, which tend to have a high percentage of unvaccinated children. Coming up after weather, a major drug bust in North Dakota turns up nearly 200 pounds of marijuana. Plus, how local schools are taking a closer look at students and their mental health. But first, Robert, it felt like an ice rink traveling in some parts of the valley today. Same recipe for tonight?
Yeah, still some slick spots out there, particularly on those lesser traveled road neighborhood streets. Take care as you head out and about. A live look outside on the CorwinAuto.com Valley Skycam, part of the Storm Team Skycam network. Looking off toward the north, still seeing some flurries falling from time to time here in the Fargo-Moorhead area. Not going to amount to much. The slick spots that we do have out there, though, they're going to stick around as we head through tonight and through much of the day tomorrow. 20 feels more like 9, winds out of the north at 10, a couple degrees cooler, 18 over in Moorhead. Temperatures elsewhere also 18 up in Langdon, 16 in Cavalier, 12 in Roseau, and a rather cold 4 in Baudette. Winds lighter than they were earlier today. Earlier today in Fargo, we had a peak wind gust of 63 miles per hour. So some much lighter winds out there. However, with the winds we do have, some wind chills as cold as 4 in Thief River Falls and Roseau, 5 in Bemidji, 4 in Langdon, 11 in Valley City, 13 down in the Goyner area. Cloud cover, we've got a lot of it. We're going to continue to see a lot of cloud cover as we head through tonight and through the day tomorrow, and do have some snow flurries falling out of those clouds. And you can see those on the radar. We'll continue to see that chance for a few flurries overnight tonight. Should become less in coverage as we head through tonight, but can't rule out a few isolated flurries as we head through tomorrow as well. A few flurries down in northeastern portions of South Dakota, southeastern North Dakota. More snow showers making their way towards the region, and those may impact the Devil's Lake Basin here in the next few hours. Across the national map, some snow making its way through parts of Wyoming, Colorado, and Utah off towards the east. Also seeing quite a bit of snow. Some of this has been locally heavy as it's made its way through the Great Lakes and into the mid-Atlantic. Some areas will end up with 3 to 5, as much as 8 to 10 inches of snow in a few locations. For us, we're just going to have some nuisance flurries as we head through the overnight hours. Temperatures not going to drop off a whole lot more than where they are right now, down into the teens and the 20s. And look at the winds, much lighter than they have been over the past 24 hours. Lots of cloud cover tomorrow. Again, can't rule out an isolated flurry from time to time. Not much of a warm-up, only into the teens and the 20s, and we'll remain with generally lighter winds as we head through the day tomorrow. Here in Fargo, we'll start off the day with mostly cloudy skies, temperatures in the mid-teens, some light winds out there, a few isolated flakes possible by lunchtime. Only a slow warm-up into the mid-20s. A bit more of a breeze as we head through the day, but still much lighter winds than today. End of the day, we're going to top out in the upper 20s with an isolated flurry, still not out of the question. Speaking of chilly sunset, thanks to Renee for sending this in Berner, Minnesota. Going to use that as the backdrop to our 7-day forecast tomorrow. Generally quiet outside of those few flurries, much lighter winds. Better chance for some perhaps accumulating snow for parts of the area as we head through late Friday and on into Saturday. And some areas could see an inch or 2 of snow. Tailgaters may have to dodge a few snowflakes Friday afternoon and evening. Sunday looking good. Snow returns Monday and Tuesday. But again, over the next 7 days, temperatures remain above normal.
Which is great.
I'll take it. The longer we go with above normal, the better.
Agreed. Thanks, Robert.
You got it.
And today's icy conditions were no walk in the park and led to some unfortunate events. No matter if you were driving or just walking to your car, many had difficulties navigating those slippery streets. Reporter Ashley Holcomb has the story.
When I stepped from the sidewalk to the street, I wiped out.
Whether you're a pedestrian or a car, navigating the icy roads can be a struggle. The Fargo Police Department responded to over 30 accidents today due to icy conditions.
And sometimes you can't see or tell that the roads are icy, so always just be prepared to drive as if they are.
Yeah, they're sliding all over.
Butch Fuss says he's worked outside his entire life, and dealing with icy roads is nothing new to him.
I'm walking really slow, and you just kind of slide your feet and you'll be fine.
Kathy Paulson was in the area for doctor's appointments, but will be staying longer than she originally planned.
I was going to go home today, but I decided to stay because of the roads. Rather be safe than sorry.
Those who don't have the luxury of staying put should remember to slow down and drive defensively. In Fargo, Ashley Holcomb, Valley News Live.
And if you want to know the road conditions where you live, both the North Dakota and Minnesota Department of Transportation websites, they've got travel maps online. We have links to them attached to this story on our website at valleynewslive.com. Well, nearly 200 pounds of pot was taken off the streets in Stutsman County. On Monday, law enforcement pulled over a van for a traffic stop on I-94 about 9 miles east of Jamestown. Authorities smelled marijuana coming from the car and then decided to search the car. Court documents state officers say seized 198 pounds of marijuana along with $5,000 in cash. May Tao of St. Paul, Minnesota, and Zhang Tao of California were charged with possession of a controlled substance with intent to deliver and possession of drug paraphernalia. The Stutsman County Sheriff's Department says the bust was probably the biggest in the office's history. A new study says 1 in 5 children has a mental health disorder, and only 20% of those children are actually diagnosed. It's another example of what officials are calling a mental health crisis. Our local schools are noticing the problem and tackling it head on through a new initiative called Rethink Mental Health. This approach is all about really understanding what the students are going through.
This is to look deeper and understand what's the reasoning behind, or what happened to this child, or what happened to this adult that had them make this decision.
And this is just the beginning of the new approach. They know it will take some time, but in the end, they're hoping this will positively impact students and give them some motivation to succeed. Today, Minnesota Governor Mark Dayton said he will appoint Lieutenant Governor Tina Smith to serve as United States Senator for Minnesota. Smith will be appointed to serve a 1-year term in the Senate, ending in January 2019. Minnesotans will choose a U.S. Senator to serve the remainder of the term, being vacated by Al Franken in a special election, which will be held next year. Smith said she will run for that same seat at the time. Senator Al Franken has said that Tina Smith will be an excellent U.S. Senator in his place. The Federal Communications Commission will vote tomorrow on a plan that would repeal net neutrality. It's an Obama-led protection of internet access. So what does this mean to you? Well, according to the founder of a Fargo IT company, net neutrality means the internet is free and open for everyone, and impeding it will allow content providers to slow down access to certain websites.
So for instance, if you enjoy watching content on YouTube and there's a certain provider that creates their own YouTube competitor, without net neutrality, they'd be able to slow down YouTube and promote their own channel on top of that instead of YouTube. So therefore benefiting themselves instead of the open internet.
The FCC's chairman proposed the plan, calling it more business friendly, while Christie says the internet community believes it will shut down small businesses. The current administration is also for the repeal. It's the giving time of year, but some are focused on taking. That's because the Better Business Bureau says there's 12 holiday scams that ramp up this time of year. Lookalike websites is one of the most common. Make sure the address bar has an HTTPS to ensure the website is safe. Other scams going around include fake temporary holiday jobs where scammers might try to steal personal information from applications. Also, be sure to be wary of free gift cards offered in emails. It's often a phishing scam, hoping you'll click on a link that could harm your computer or even steal your information.
If your radar goes off and it just seems wrong, something just is not fitting, take a moment to do the research.
For all of the other holiday scams, check them out on our website at valleynewslive.com and click on this story. Also, if you suspect someone is scamming you, we've got our whistleblower hotline. You can call or send us a message, and a member of our investigative team will then get on the case and go to work to expose the truth. Carson Wentz says the comeback officially begins now. This is after posting about his successful ACL surgery today on Twitter. The Philadelphia Eagles quarterback was hurt in the win over the Los Angeles Rams last Sunday. Wentz has sent out various tweets and videos on Twitter and Instagram, thanking the outpouring of support after the injury. And Wentz's Eagles are challenging the Minnesota Vikings for the top spot in the NFC. Well, another reminder for all you NDSU fans out there, our Farmers Union Insurance Bison football pregame show kicks off at 6 o'clock Friday night on KX. We're going to take you all the way up until kickoff at 7 p.m. on ESPN2. The Bison and the Bearcats fight for a trip to Frisco. There's also a CW giveaway we want to remind you about tonight. It's a VNL VIP Fargo Force Night Suite experience on December 30th. All you have to do to register to win is head on over to our website, valleynewslive.com, or ndtoday.tv. Click on the contest tab. 2 winners are going to get the chance to hang out with us, the Valley News Live crew, while also enjoying some hockey. The deadline to register is on December 21st at noon. Coming up, the Republican tax bill is nearing the finish line. How you or your business would be affected, still ahead tonight.